Welcome to episode number 7 of the Mirrorless podcast. As always, my name is David and my co-host
My
is
name is Miguel.
Miguel. And we are here actually with a special guest to us because he's a close friend and fellow photographer, and that is Brent Dalton. Brent, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
Crowd goes crazy.
Yeah, the excitement is there. You can see it.
Nervous.
In our show today, we're going to be talking a little bit about photography. Later on, we're going to actually do a little bit of a photo editing challenge, which was recommended by one of our followers in the YouTube. So thank you for that.
Shout out to Jason Ramirez.
Yes, Jason Ramirez. Thank you for supporting and commenting on our YouTube. And so we're going to kind of like basically get a couple photos. We all shared with each other. We're going to have our own editing style and we'll show the results. And then also somewhere in the episode today, we will be doing a giveaway. This is our first giveaway, but it's a Bluetooth headphone giveaway. And stay tuned for that because you can enter for it. And there will be, I think in January will be the actual results of it. So Miguel will talk more to that with today. But Brent, again, welcome to the show. And thanks for joining us for today. Going to talk a little bit about photography. Maybe if you can give us a little bit about yourself, and I hope this is the only time I'm going to say it, but anyhow, I'll just start. What type of photography do you do? I knew I was going to have to tell him he's muted. I knew it once I saw it.
Yep, there you go.
The challenges of doing Zoom podcasts are so hard. That's why I said I wasn't going to say it. I was like, maybe he's.
I love it.
Loud and clear, right?
Loud and clear. Anyhow, so Brent, what kind of photography do you do?
So a little bit about myself. I'm married to the lovely Nikki Dalton. She's in quite a few of my photos, as we'll see today.
Shout out to Nikki.
Shout out to Nikki. I don't know. That's a loaded question. I do lots of different kind of photography. I feel like I went through a lot of phases, but right now I'm kind of leaning more towards lifestyle, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I did wedding photography, as you know, Dave. You and me did quite a bit of work together. But I more kind of just capture every day, just day-to-day life. I think that's how I could describe it. I just document life.
What kind of gear do you use, Brent, and why?
Nikon. Right, Miguel? Team Nikon, let's go. Canon sucks.
The only part of this podcast I was dreading. I'm gained up.
Exactly.
Where's my Canon people?
For the sake of Dave, I won't harp on Canon too much, but yeah, I just funny story. I wasn't even getting into photography. I had a lot of hobbies and I just wanted to kind of document what I like doing. So I went into Best Buy and there was a sale. I had Verizon, great carrier, not sponsored, I promise. But Sprint was offering a huge sale. And Sprint just threw $600 at me, and I bought a Nikon D3300 because that's what was on sale.
Nice. That's funny because I started with the Nikon D3400.
Oh, you were like.
So it's kind of like a very close. Like you were right here. I was like right there, but then now we're both like at the same model.
Exactly.
Go into that.
No, so I had the D3300, and I won't go into too much of what I shot at first because that's for later. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of messed around, went out in the woods, took some shots. But right now I shoot the D750 full frame camera. As for lenses, I shoot mostly prime lenses. I feel like I enjoy the result they give me. I like the bokeh. Who doesn't? I shoot 35, 50, and 85, 1.4 Sigma, the art lens.
Yes, sir.
Incomparable.
They're just so easy to work with. I mean, it's just like,
oh yeah,
straight out
if you've
of
never
camera,
touched a camera and you shot one of those lenses,
yeah, straight out of camera, the results are amazing. Because you guys got me onto shooting with the 85 1.4 for my Canon because the Sigma makes it for it too, and it's just like so easy. It's like you don't even have to do anything. But
I think it's easy to fall in love with that type of
absolutely
lens.
A kickback though to Brent's story. It's kind of funny. One of the reasons I wanted to have Brent on the show is because he's one of the reasons I got into photography. And it's because after he got that camera, I don't think me and Brent even knew each other that well. Like I've always been friends with his wife's family. So like I knew him. We had been at a couple of the family gatherings at the same time, but he just kind of randomly called me up and said, "Hey, you want to go on a quick little hike? I've got this new camera and I want to try it out." And I was like, "Okay, why not?" So we met up, we did this hike, and it's a funny story because like we were just literally messing around and we were talking about, I remember this very
Vividly.
Yes, yeah, I was trying to think of the name. We were talking about, we had like these mushrooms and these like rocks and
Oh my
everything. And
God,
we
I
were like,
remember the mushrooms so
and
much
I
too.
do because well, I don't know if Miguel is, but I know like Brent likes Star Wars, and so we were talking how they look like little landing pods and how we were gonna get Legos and like set up scenes with the Legos. And I think there's like some kind of Instagrammer that does all that. It was such a stupid idea, but we were so pumped on it, and we took some pictures. But it was after that that I kind of got into photography, and then another one of his wife's extended family members lent me a camera, and then kind of just took off from there. Um, but it was kind of a fun start and not really known for either of us, but it actually turned into something both of us got better at and kind of started doing for work a little bit too later on. So that
Yeah,
was
absolutely. When I think of photography, like photography as a whole brings up a lot of memories for me. And as a whole, just that memory sticks out more than anything else. Is just going out in the woods. I vividly remember taking pictures of mushrooms and like us shooting down at the roots and like lying on the ground, shooting up at mushrooms. Like there was no point to photography at that time, you know, like now we shoot weddings, we do like these big gigs. But back then it was just like looking at these ridiculous angles of things in the woods. And it was just
but
not pointless at a time, but it was just fun.
but we were so excited about it. We were like, "Oh, this is amazing! Why don't we not get into this sooner?" But it was fun. But what we did want to do is actually, since we're talking about, from that early time to now, showing some of your work that you've done with. And I know you brought a couple of pictures to kind of show some of the things that you've done over time, and I know some of them I've done with you, but it's just kind of a nice little journey as far as like we did it on our first episode to see how much our photos have changed or what we've done differently. But definitely you want to, well, we'll put pictures up for people to see for those who are watching on the YouTube. But you want to run us through a little memory lane with some of your
Are
pictures?
we choosing them, or Brent, do you want the free for all like
Oh man, that's a big
favorites?
question. I've got a lot of photos here, you
So
know.
I just have one question. I'm just scrolling through. There's this picture of Dave. Looks like he's like window washing or something. And I'm just.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Did you see that?
so this photo here, Dave is in his prime. He's
Oh,
just
definitely prime David Gonzalez. This is
I am definitely
legendary.
a lot lighter and skinnier in this picture. That's for sure.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I mean, he's definitely a happy camper here. He just see the funny thing about Dave here is he didn't think that he was in the shot, and I looked over and there he was, and apparently that was the best smile he could
So
give.
originally when we were to throw this in here now because obviously this picture came up first. Brent has a knack not only to be a great photographer and capture some great moments, but as he said, just seeing candid moments, he somehow gets the most absurd pictures of me. And some of them I look really happy, I'm having fun. Some of them I just have these facial expressions. Other people have said this before, like I have a lot of facial expressions, which is really true. I do. But he gets these facial expressions I don't even know existed. Like
Oh, Dave, you say that, but that's just testament to how many ridiculous faces you make.
the
So the problem before this podcast, okay, we'll back up a little bit, is I spent the past 2 hours trying to find this folder I have that has at least 20 ridiculous photos of Dave, and I couldn't find them. But I'm sure by the time this podcast ends up on YouTube, I'll find them, and we will showcase every single photo of Dave that I have.
So it's funny, like I
while
said
you're oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
before, I thought he was like window washing because I'm just looking at that pole and I just see like soap. Like that's what I first saw, but then I do see it like a complete wedding dress. And
It's a wedding
he just
dress. Yep.
I will say this, it's a testament that I am a team player because at that wedding, actually that's the first wedding I ever did video for. And the couple didn't even know I was doing video. It's just Brent had it covered so well. I was like, hey, I'm gonna just try to make some video on the side. But I was taking one for the team, trying to set up, the dress so he could take a picture of it and be out of the shot and everything. But it was a fun time.
I will say Dave goes to every extent he possibly can to get the shot. I appreciate that.
Very true, very true. Anyhow, was that the first? Which one was you going to talk about first, though?
Me in particular?
Yeah, you in particular.
I had no specific wedding. I mean, we had a couple, Giorgio and Laura, and I think they were a very photogenic couple, and I had a couple of really good photos from them. Testament to the weather, I had really good weather. Just lighting was on my side. I think photography wise, I focused more on lighting than I do anything else, and it was just with me that day. So as you see here, there's a couple of photos that I really appreciated, and I even put them on my website. So I really enjoyed that wedding.
I really like the one that you did with Oh man, that detail shot. Now I'm scrolling through it too. I'm gonna first refer to the one with Spencer. I like that shot, but I also had a hand in that shot as well because I remember I found the lighting and I was like, "Yo, this is perfect." Because I was doing video, I think, for that one too. And
Actually, yes. So Dave, this shot kind of talks about how me and Dave work as partners. Um, so starting off in the morning, we do okay. We do pretty good. We have a plan. We always have a plan going into it. But I feel like the two of us are very creative people. And once our brains start turning, we start coming up with other shots. And this shot, literally, we were walking down the hallway in a hotel and we saw a singular light come from the ceiling and just it was there. We knew the shot. We just set it up. This shot took 10 minutes max. We were ready for it. It's just when you're in game mode, you know the shot you need to get into the moment. So I loved the shot. It didn't take any preparation at all, and it's just a testament to how we work together as partners and how we work with our environment.
we were literally walking away. I think we were done. We were heading to the next phase of the
Yeah, I
wedding.
think the elevator was right there.
Yeah, and we were waiting for it, and we said, "Hey, let's get this shot real quick with the lighting." It was a cool hotel in New Haven. It had like an old school vibe to it, but it just worked perfectly. I mean, it's a wedding shot, but at the same time, just the way their faces are, it just looks very dark and just
Oh, super
ominous.
dramatic.
It's like really cool picture. Um, I like that. And then I stumbled on another one that I really liked. I don't know if Miguel, you have any that you chose, but I think it was. Hold on, I will find it. It's labeled podcast 17, but it's the detail shot. The details in that shot is just awesome. And I think the way you had the earrings kind of just hanging from the plant right there, and then the ring and everything. But you've always been pretty good about setting up the details in a way that's just kind of like focuses on them. But I don't know, it's just very airy. I like the way you did it on that one.
No, I appreciate that, especially with detail shots, Dave, because we take those a lot, and we'll either split up between the bridesmaids or the groomsmen. Um, and this is just my softer look on things. I always turn my contrast down a little bit when I edit. I like a more natural look, and Dave, you go with a little more of a dramatic look, which I think appeals to different people. And I love your details too. This is just kind of shows my softer look on things.
And then the other one, I mean, I didn't really put it down as something to talk about, but we did go to Iceland. What was it, a year ago now? A little over a year ago.
Yeah.
One of the most funnest trips I've been on as far as like what we got to see in just such a short time, 5 days. But Travel 3, that picture to me is just so epic because you don't see the full waterfall, but it's just one small, person just sitting in front of this gigantic wall of water. Great capture on that one. And I also know how hard it was to get that picture because if you've been there, you know that if it's anywhere of like what 50 yards of the waterfall, it seems.
Oh yeah, this one shot I had to wipe my
There's
lens
so
like
much
what
water.
10 times, Dave.
Yeah, like clean it up. I think we were like running around with our rags cleaning each other's cameras because it was just so bad. Actually, I stand corrected. I think I didn't bring a rag, so I was stealing your rag, and you kept getting mad.
Fair enough.
My lens.
Actually, no. That same trip, I think I have a picture of you. I don't have it in this folder per se, but I'm sure we can throw it up now. The photo of you in the cave, with you holding your camera in front of you.
Oh yeah.
With the moss behind you. That's one of my favorite shots there.
It's actually one of the only selfie shots that I have on my Instagram profile because I don't take a whole lot of selfie shots. And that was the one where I was like, man, I actually like these pics a lot. So I put them up online. But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, again, a testament to the Nikon full frames. I will say that the pictures that they get are very clean and nice.
Stop it.
Jeez. So next question though, kind of looking at some of your work now, do you consider yourself a hobbyist or a working trade? And then why so? Why would you make the distinction of that you would?
I don't know. That's a loaded question. Do you consider yourself a professional? I've definitely done a few gigs, Dave, as you know. We've done some jobs together. We've done a few weddings together. And to those people, absolutely, I'm a professional photographer. No, I think we have the capabilities of being professional photographers, and I wouldn't call myself a hobbyist per se, but I can say for sure that I know my camera in and out. But you're on Instagram, you see these photographers out there, and there's always an opportunity to learn. right?
Mhm.
We can always improve. And I think I for sure have an opportunity to improve my work, my photography. Um,
I think
yeah,
it, I am,
this is tough.
well, yeah. I mean, maybe I should clarify a little bit more. As far as like not so much of your skill set, because I think as your skill set, you're professional. Definitely, you know enough about your camera that you can go out there. But I guess it's more of like, do you want to make it a business? And it's kind of tough because you got to be pretty committed to make it a business, but at the same time you don't want to commit so much that you lose your passion for it. So it's like a toss up. As a hobbyist, do you want to kind of keep your passion, make a little money on the side, or working trade like this is your full-time job and it's going to, put the food on the table type deal, which is not for everybody. It can, or sometimes people are able to blend it as a side hustle or whatever like that. So just kind of like taking your take on it as another photographer. There's no right or wrong. It's just how would you approach it as far as that. That was more what I was getting towards.
Yeah, and if I could talk about that a little more, I think that goes back to why I started photography in the first place. It's just a whole story. We got into photography. I bought a camera and we just shot stuff that we thought was cool. And that's kind of the place I'm at now. I think after that, I kind of try to force a way to try to make money with photography. Not that I regret it. I shot plenty of weddings and I thoroughly enjoyed them. I had a blast. I learned a ton. We got to work together. I've worked with you plenty, and you learn a lot on the business aspect of things. But I've kind of taken a step back from that now to make it more of a hobby, to get back into more of shooting what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of just drives the love I have for photography.
And I know like some people are aware or not, but with my business, Conspire Photos, we use you a lot as a photographer. So we, get the business, but we'll sub out to you because I know that again your skill set, and we worked well together. We're working a wedding coming up, and I'm looking forward to it because going back to our roots from the first wedding we did, and both of us were so nervous, and we're like, do we even know what we're doing? And I think we did good for what we were, pretty new at cameras and what cameras we're using. Now going into this, we have better cameras, better equipment, so much more knowledge. It'll be kind of nice to really just go in there and take photos and just kind of enjoy what we do in that. And we're going to have an assistant on top of that. So it should be pretty easy. It should be a nice day for it. Beyond the camera though, Brent, to me, you're a very talented, skillful person. You're creative. I think really encapsulizes what you do. Can you give us some of your other talents and skills, not limited to just creativity, but some, as a person, what does Brent Dalton bring to the table?
Brett Dalton, he's got a lot to bring to the table. I don't know if I'd call it a skill set. I have a lot of hobbies, and I think I have a lot of hobbies because as soon as I pick them up, I realize that I'm bad at them. So I just move on to the next. So work wise, I like to work with wood. I work with my hands quite a bit, Dave. You can attest to this. You've done a lot of carpentry work.
Definitely.
I love building furniture. If I could have, $100,000 wood shop and build furniture, that would be my dream.
Agreed.
Yeah, we've got a creative mindset we got to put it into something. At first, me and my father, we built a lot of cool furniture pieces for different brothers and sisters, and I think that brought a lot to the table. So I don't know. I just like working with my hands quite a bit.
I think it's cool, and I don't know if you ever have a chance to get some pictures of some of the projects you've worked on. I know the most recent thing that's impressive, not only to me as a lot of people, is this that you're kind of building a camper from scratch.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hold on. I don't have a picture of my camper. I wish I took a picture.
Well, I mean, we could always just take a picture and put it up after the fact.
True, but we could. But this is for those out there who don't know what a teardrop trailer looks like. This is the general shape. And I bought this part, the bottom piece with the wheel. And for the past like 4 or 5 months, I've been building that from the ground up. I love camping.
And we'll put up a picture now if you can somehow get a picture of it where it's at. I know it's not completely finished yet, but to me it's impressive to like go out there over a span of 4 or 5 months, talk about losing interest or not. I would probably be just like, whatever. I started it, never finished it, but that's just
I've gone through my ups and downs. The thing has made me mad for sure.
But I think that's pretty cool. And then the other thing that I mean, I feel like to me this is a skill and talent, but you know sign language, and to a point that it's not even just a hobby. Like that's your 9 to 5 job, is it not?
Yeah, I'm a sign language interpreter. I work in the school system. I'm currently in a elementary school. I work with little kindergartners, and they're
And
adorable, and I love it.
which is awesome. Do you want to give us a little background of how you got into that, if you don't mind talking about it?
Yeah, sure, not at all. So my parents are both deaf, my mom and my dad. So I guess you could say sign language was my first language. I don't remember. I know the rest of my family taught me English. So I guess my parents got me into sign language. I didn't get into sign language interpreting till later in life.
I
Guess.
figured if you wanted to eat, you had to learn it, I guess, basically.
I
Right?
guess so, right?
But
Yeah.
but that's really cool. So the reason I bring that up is because being just those two things you brought out, have you ever thought to or plan to capture your talents with your camera work? It kind of it's a full circle question. You can see I've been leading up to it, but you've come to me with a couple ideas, so that's why I asked this question. But do you have ideas to somehow incorporate those other skill sets in with your camera work in any way?
Oh, absolutely. So just going off sign language, Dave, you and me have talked about, because you're getting a lot more into video now. You and Miguel both. Um, I would love to make a sign language music video. That's something I'm getting more
Which
into, because it's always been a job for me, but I feel like the music video would be really cool.
which blew my mind, because I mean, obviously I love music and everything, but it's just kind of like, how do you make a music video for sign language? It almost is like, I don't want to say an oxymoron, but like, how do you do that? But I think it's a great idea and a cool idea, because I don't see much of it, but there is a market out there for it, which would be fun to capture. And then also too, with the, like with the trailer and stuff, you're kind of looking to doing some like more product photography for camping and stuff, right? And all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think my photography nowadays consists more of documenting more than business photography. I love documenting the moment, and I think I want to document a lot of my hobbies. I love rock climbing. There's a lot of things I love doing outdoors. So instead of just focusing on photography as a whole, I think I'd like to document more of what I enjoy doing.
Cool. I feel like I've been ousting Miguel. Do you have anything you want to ask me?
No, I don't.
I've
I'm
been
just the audience.
he's just taking it all in. All right. So speaking of photography, what is your best photography story? Do you have one for us?
Oh
Any-
yeah, Dave.
Okay.
You were there too.
Okay.
It was early on in our photography days. I think it was still shooting with my D3300, my first camera there, and we were messing around with long exposure and
I think I know
steel
where you're going
wool.
with this. Yeah. I do
Yeah,
remember this.
we'll throw up the photo shortly. But for you out there who don't know, if you take steel wool and you set it on fire and you spin it in any way, it sends out sparks and makes a really cool long exposure shot.
It's a photo number 1, Miguel, in the drive if you want to
Yeah,
look
so
at it.
we'll throw it up
It's
right here.
called it's called best Instagram story. So I think I know what
Photography.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So who was there that day?
I believe it
Was
was,
I think it was Angel, right?
yeah, and I believe Bailey was with us too.
Was it? Oh, that's right.
I know there was one other person besides the 4 of us. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah, it was a bunch of us, and it was the middle of the night, and Dave had this cool spot by the river. Where was that spot again?
It's over by my house. And it basically is a walk, a 1 mile walk that people can go to, but the train tracks go over this little part. So there's like a tunnel there, and there's like a steel fence that's in the shape of a tunnel going over it. And so that's where you wanted to do this shot. We had the idea of it, and then I took you there, and then basically you set all this up.
Right. So we get there, and there's a steel cage. There's a tunnel. There's a train bridge. Sorry. And there's a steel cage tunnel it makes. So we all kind of argued over who was going to take the first shot. I took the bullet. I went up there. So we took a bunch of steel wool. We stuffed it in a normal kitchen whisk. And I think Angel had brought a leash,
Yeah.
dog leash, because he had just gotten a dog at the time, right? So we attached it to that. And when you set it on fire and spin it in circles, it sends sparks everywhere.
And the thing is, when you look at the picture, in case people don't know about it, all the sparks don't come out at once. With the slow shutter speed, you capture light over the whatever your shutter speed. So if it's 10 seconds, you catch 10 seconds of light. So as you spin it, you're not really getting much action in real life when you're watching it. But then when you actually look at the camera, I'm sorry, go ahead with the rest of your story at this point. Just wanted to like
No,
navigate
you're
that.
good. So we had brought an umbrella. We thought, how cool would it be is if it was raining fire? I went up there with all the gear I needed on the train tracks. I looked both ways before I crossed the street, as every child should. And I set my whisk on fire and I started going. And I think this had to have been like a 30-second shot. No,
It was a long shot. Yeah.
yeah. So it's 30 seconds of me spinning and I'm just focused. I'm not looking anywhere else. I'm focused. And out of nowhere, I am deaf. There's just loud, ear-piercing train horn. I don't know what to do. I jump forward. I launch off the train tracks onto the steel cage. I look back. There's a train going by. I definitely almost died. Don't do this at home, kids.
Yeah, definitely don't recommend doing this. But what's so funny, and that's funny, but the train actually stopped. I think they were concerned that it did hit you because he literally jumped off, I think, on the steel cage, or no? And you were
I did. No, I was like face planted on the steel cage.
I just love, I love how you gave like every single detail, where it is, what to do, but don't do it.
just don't do it, please.
Seriously, he's like, hey, where is this? So they can contact you. Like, I'm not saying what town it was.
It wasn't me. It had to have been Dave.
But I think the results were great. Honestly, I look back, I always wanted to recreate that picture or a
I would
version
love
of
to
it.
see how you guys would do
Well,
just recreating it. Just obviously because that photo was, when was it?
This was
when we first started.
Literally,
like, it had
yeah,
to been.
I was still using
2015, 2014, something like that, or
5-6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while back because I was still using the 60D. I think that's what I had first.
Just to see like how far you've come and see what you do. I'm sure you can get like obviously it's good, but I'm sure you can make a way better image.
Right.
And
actually, now that I think about it, I didn't take the shot then. If I
and
was
take
up
more
there
precautions
almost
about
getting hit by a
these
train,
type of
it wasn't me.
I think this might have been my shot.
Probably.
But again, a joint effort because a lot of our stuff at the beginning was a joint effort. But we should actually do that, Miguel. We'll maybe, since we have a couple of planned outings for this podcast anyhow that we're gonna do, that might be a fun one to do. Is kind of
this might be a piggyback off of another video.
Well, we're gonna be doing
There'll be a
basketball
flashback
camp from our last.
We have 3 of them already, so
we're gonna
it should be fun.
We're gonna have some different things. But yeah, no, this would be a cool shot to kind of recreate.
And I think what would be cool is if, I don't know what focal length this is, but I think it'd be cool if it was a lot more wider shot so you can see like, everything.
I don't even know because I don't even remember what lenses I had. I feel like I was using like the kit lenses at that point.
Because it looks like a 70.
I was shooting with a 50, which with the crop it's probably a 70.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it might be the 50 because I think that was the first lens I bought after my kit lens was the nifty 50 or the little 50mm one before I bought any of my other lenses. So, but definitely, I don't know. I was still impressed with it. So the fact of like for such early on that we kind of conquered it, but that was a nice thing about it. And especially with me and Brent, we've always tried to try new things, I guess you could say. So recently me and Brent just did another shoot with a car and he wanted to take roller type pics of basically the car running at the same speed and we're running at the same speed and taking the shot. And I haven't seen Brent's yet, but I was pretty happy with mine. Again, just trying something new and something I haven't done before. And that's definitely something that me and Brent kind of do as a team because it takes a couple people to kind of get some of these shots, which is fun, but also hard. But
no, it was a blast. I look back and I remember holding Dave's legs while he was hanging out the window. It was a good time.
Well, that was for the video, but yes, definitely. Miguel, do you want to do the 10 questions first? Or do you want to do the edit challenge first?
We could do
let's do the edit challenge first.
Do you want to do the 10 questions last? Like just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah. Let's kind of like finish out with that.
Okay. So then we can go into the photography challenge.
I'll let you take it away from here, kind of explain exactly what we did and all that kind of stuff.
All right, cool. So per request from our hardcore day one fans, Jason Ramirez, gave a suggestion of we should each edit our own photo. So with that in mind, we all submitted one photo each, and then we all edited each other's photos. So the first photo is one I have taken because I'm a sports photographer. And this is the photos that we took. and we'll just show it on the screen. Let me get to it.
I just
Who,
realized.
who are
as
we
we're
looking
doing-
at first, by the way?
Mine.
We're looking at the
Mine.
basketball ones, but I guess he can we can control who, since we all took whoever's pick it is, they can see which ones we're looking at first. Do you want to do it that way?
So we can look at mine first.
I just realized I
And
didn't put
see
my
what-
edit of my picture in here, so I'm like trying to find it real quick so I can throw it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't know whose is who.
I know it's hard to tell.
I
Moss.
marked mine. Mine says David's
David's
edit
edit.
of Branson of
Yeah.
Miguel, so I know who is who.
Where is that?
Big
David
one,
Gray,
I
guess.
David
Name.
Young.
We're
Okay,
looking at,
cool.
We're looking at
cool.
Dave's first, right? I haven't seen this.
Very
promise.
interesting. Very interesting.
It's
Dave-
clear.
You and Dave's are very similar,
They are.
I think.
I think color comes more into play with mine.
Yeah, a little bit.
So whose are we looking at first? As let's look at Miguel's, because I
I
mean
don't
he's
know.
the one. That
I'm
took
looking
the
at
part.
Dave's right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
of
whatever.
Miguel's.
yeah.
We could see we got this really down pat as far as what we're.
I had a suggestion and I thought it would work.
Whose
and
idea
it
was
Google
this?
Jason, you
Drive.
should give us more details, Jason, on how to do this. We're failing.
Dang it, Jason.
No, no, they're all gonna be up on the screen. So it's just a matter of it's just conversation now. Like if anyone wants to chime in, like, oh,
I'll say with mine. Here's the thing. What since some of us are looking at mine.
Yeah,
My
Dave, what'd you do?
Miguel's shot. I didn't really do much. I know how Miguel edits, so I didn't look at his edit of this picture. I don't know if he had ever posted it or anything like that, because a lot of
No.
the stuff's on stories. But I know how Miguel edits his basketball pictures. It's very bright. It's very airy. He usually gets rid of all his yellows, I think, or oranges. He kind of keeps it more of a blue. I don't want to say monotone, but it's very distinct look that he usually has with it. So I didn't want to copy his style, knowing that's the way he edited, but I know shooting it, I didn't even look. What was the ISO and numbers on
I can
this?
give it to you right now. ISO was 1600, 85 millimeter shot, 2.0, and 1/1000 shutter.
Okay,
That's not
so-
bad, because I know I cranked out my exposure and my shadows, and he didn't look so bad despite being that high ISO.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like I know from trying a few basketball shoots, it gets dark because you're trying to catch the motion and everything like that. So, but I'm trying to think as far as what I did. I know what I do for a lot of my pictures to kind of get a smooth look to it is I will use my masking tool for sharpness and noise reduction to get rid of some of the grain, which is what I did on this one first. And then what I'll also do is I had to raise my shadow up enough to even out with the bright lights of the walls and the ceiling and everything. But then he was kind of shadowed in it, being in front of it all. So I had to raise my shadows up, but I also turned my blacks down to get like a glossier look to my photos. So that's basically what I did with that. I think I took the yellows down a notch, and also the warmth down a notch to a cooler tone. And then that was basically it. Kind of rolled with that. I mean, a few other adjustments here and there, and I maybe threw a little bit more clarity and texture into it, just to kind of like, because noise reduction kind of makes it a little too smooth sometimes, but just to kind of even things
Yeah.
out.
Brent,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about what you did? Just in like 30 seconds or something.
He's muted again. That's
There we go.
that's-
Always
shots for-
muted.
Shots for every time he's
Right?
muted and talking.
So this is my shot. Now that I look at it, I feel like it's a little over edited. I definitely cranked my whites. I accentuated the oranges a little bit, the blues. I brought a little more color in what Dave did. Dave, what you usually do? Well, what you did is what I usually do. I like to bring out the natural photo a little more. But yeah, I think I messed with my tone curve a little bit here. I'm just looking at it. I feel like for the first time. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Yeah, I cranked my whites, brought my blacks down.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a photo that I took a while ago, during the summer of AAU, and pretty good high school basketball player. He's a sophomore. He's already 6'4", so he's definitely a pretty high prospect. He's like one of the best in the class of 2022, I believe. But but it's a cool photo. Like pretty much my edit, I like to well, the thing is, I think I saw in all of our photos, we underexpose and just bring back the shadows and stuff. So that's what I did. And I have like more of a like there's a lot of colors in both of yours, but I like to just take away the colors in mine and just have blues and whites. And then there's still oranges in there, but they're a little bit more. It depends what I do. A lot of times I'll take those oranges down a bit more, but they are a lot brighter in that photo. And then I'll just mess around with it, make it more Instagram worthy. You can see like the speckles of dust up top, and just give it a nice flavor. But obviously,
I will say
kind of
that's
a portrait. The bottom right corner is blown out, and then you see him, and then it just kind of opens up after that. So
I feel like
that's
you
really
mess around with
photo.
like effects a lot, and I do enjoy them. They're very Instagram worthy, for sure.
I think that's what I shoot for, just pretty much Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna see it in a school like portfolio or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not me.
And by the way, as far as YouTube and anyone else listening, when you check these out, you can say which ones you like, what you like about what you don't like about them. We're open. We're all open to constructive feedback or even deconstructive feedback. It doesn't
I was
hurt.
gonna say at the end.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
So
Let's go to
Dave's
Brent's
photo?
next. No, let's go to Brent's next because I'm moving my photo over right now from my phone for my edit on it.
So I feel like we should throw up the unedited version first.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
so the
that's what I
story
was
behind the shot kind of was just good friends of mine's. They had a maternity shoot. They were having a baby, and it was kind of towards fall. So I thought we went towards the ocean just to get a little more dramatic feel and kind of get away from the woods a little bit. Um, it's wintertime. Like you could fake any season you want at the ocean. This is the place to do it, right? So this is the unedited shot, and then we'll pull up my edited shot here. It's very natural. I didn't do too much. I kind of brought the detail out a little bit in her face. I use a 35 here.
Yeah.
I do this a lot in my photography. I do lifestyle photography. I feel like 35 kind of leans more towards what our eye sees. And just a maternity shoot, you kind of want more of a natural shot. So I didn't do too much with the horizon.
I knew Dave was gonna blow out that blue sky.
Oh,
I
of
knew
course.
he was gonna do
Yeah,
that.
naturally.
Yeah, I don't know. I like blue skies. What can I say?
It's nice. Sometimes it's just for me with a portrait, right? So obviously if it's a landscape, it's a lot of color, it's cool. But like when it's a portrait, like I want the focus to be on the person. So I like to kind of make my skies white because it's a portrait. You want the person that's the focus of the photograph, you know?
Right.
So like it's kind of cool. Dave's photo does have a lot of color, but it's just like there's a
Honestly,
deep blue
for a
sky in the
Dave, yeah, for a
background.
Dave edit, this is still has a lot of focus on the subject.
Yeah, but it's just like the blue sky, and then it kind of compensates for that, and you can kind of see like an orange on her. It's pretty cool, but I knew there was going to be color in it. I knew there was going to be color.
Yeah, it's
I
a
always
lot
have color
warmer
in my
than my
picture.
shot, I would say. And I think after looking at it, I would edit it a little differently. I think I really like the shot, to be honest.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was a cool photo to edit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I mean honestly too, there was so much sky because if you were to take it down to an Instagram size for the 4:5 ratio or whatever, I would probably take more away from the sky real estate than the rock real estate because I do like the whole depth of field with the rocks in the foreground blurred out. But I like the picture. I liked it because there was a minimal color, but allowed me to kind of like play with it a little bit more as far as adding color to it. So,
I think if there's not a lot of color to it, you can definitely bring more color out. If a shot already has a lot of color, to bring more out would kind of overkill.
but I think Brent's shot, I haven't looked at yours, Miguel, your edit of this, but I think Brent's shot is definitely, I don't want to say moodier, but it fits his style a little nicer as far as like, it's his style. So in a whole collection, it would definitely, because that's the one thing that if you ever, I just dealt with this because someone hired me to do a wedding. And I admit to this, I am not consistent on how I edit. I literally edit photos with however the photo takes me, or how I feel, like I just kind of follow whatever the photo goes with. So you guys are really consistent in your edits and how you look. Obviously I always do put color in mine, but I can easily change so much from my edits one picture to the next in the same set, which I'm sure some people get annoyed with, but
it was interesting too, and I'll go into this with Dave's photo too, but with your photo, ISO 100, shutter 1/1000, and then you're at f1.4. It's funny because for me, I probably went to like 2.8, 3.0, and then brought my shutter down. And it's just kind of cool how to see an edit and then just to see their settings, like how they worked and stuff. So it's just like how I would have did a shot versus what you would have did. But it's funny because it still would have been kind of like a similar photo because the raw is just how it would still come out like that.
Right.
Very
I mean,
similar.
the only reason why I was in 1.4 it was because it was just her. Obviously, she was with her husband and they were shooting together, and I was up to like I think 2.2. I think if you were going to shoot a couple, to shoot in 1.4 would be crazy.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times. Rookie mistake, right? You know, you get one in focus and the other one's blurry. It was
Yeah,
just
for
her, and honestly, I'm surprised that all of her is in focus. I'm pretty pumped on this shot, to be honest.
No, it's a dope shot because obviously 1.4, so you gotta nail that focus.
It's kind of
I
funny.
like to go 2.8, 3.0 just to be safe, and then
Right.
you just get more texture, and you would have got more texture on like the rocks too. Like it would have been like super sweet.
It's kind of funny though. It's like a little bit of a spectrum as far as like Miguel is like very white and monotone. Then you got Brent's got a little more color. And then you got mine that's got like maybe too much color. I don't know how you want to put it, but it's kind of funny. We all definitely
Not
hit a
too
different
much
scale
color.
on that.
Yeah, I think she got a nice tan in Dave's. I like that.
I did give her a little bit of color. So it was kind of hard though because it must have been close to golden hour because her hair was already naturally orange. So I fear the sun was
Oh,
kind of
absolutely.
doing
It
its
looked
That
like the
shot
sun
was
was coming from the
glorious.
right side.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, ah, should I try to get rid of the orange? And I was like, yeah, it's golden hour. It is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
work with it. But I put my other photo up there, my edit of it, so it should be good now.
Your edit. So this is Dave's photos now.
Yeah. So the landscape.
So morning one JPEG is yours.
Morning one is mine. Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
epic. This shows Dave's shot. This is Dave's shot as a whole for sure.
So quick little story about this shot. I actually was driving back from Tennessee and I read about the Blue Ridge Mountains and I was like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in the morning. I literally drove all night till about 3 a.m, stopped at a rest stop, slept there for an hour, and then drove up to be at the mountains right up when the sunrise was coming up. And shot or no shot, completely worth it. It was absolutely breathtaking. And I got numerous shots off of this if you look at my Instagram. But this particular shot was kind of cool. But if you look at the original, which we've probably already posted, it was very dark. Just because you got the sun and then you got morning time. So like it was still pretty dark outside. But
Yeah, I think from before, I think you did tell me it was like a sunrise, but I made more kind of like a sunset.
Where did you park?
Like a pinkish sky.
What's that?
Where did you park?
Well, here's
in the
the
middle
deal.
of the road?
When it's 5 o'clock in the morning on Blue Ridge Parkway, there's absolutely nobody there. It was a Sunday morning, I think, too, or Saturday. I think it was a Sunday morning. So there was absolutely nobody there. So I literally just put my Jeep in the middle of the road, put on my hazards, and I got out and took the picture in the middle of the road.
Fact.
But I like Miguel's edit of it. He did brighten it up a lot to really bring out the road, which is really cool.
Yeah, I went into Lightroom and just like painted the road. So I thought that was a good focal point.
I painted the road too, actually. Yeah.
You know, like the sun was right there.
I like that you went with a pink sky.
And then I did like a sunset type thing, but then I also like this road is kind of important too. Like it's like it's going around, so like you want to paint that, and I kind of revealed that a little bit. So I kind of made it more like a sunset type thing when it was sunrise.
And I think I was focused. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because I literally just moved this over from my phone to here. So I don't know if like some of the detail got lost in it. But I think for me, I was focused more on the sunrise and the road was like a accentuating feature, not really my focal point on it. So
yeah,
kind of funny how we focused on different things. I feel like Brent, I don't know Brent for sure, but I feel like he focused on the tree.
I think he kept the same crop too.
Did you? Oh, did you?
I didn't know there was another crop. See, I feel like I was gypped, man.
I did say that in the text. That
I didn't see it. That's not fair.
Just sort of in case people are wondering. So I took this shot with a Panasonic and it's a Micro Four Thirds camera, but automatically when you go to Lightroom, it kind of crops it down to a different ratio. So you have to actually go to original. There's a lot more pictures in it. But
yeah, I think if Brent did go to the original, there's like so much more to work with, and then it would have been cool. But
it kind of makes
I thought the road was kind of like in the center, so that was kind of like the focal
exactly,
point.
especially if you put the whole original size of it. It makes a leading line to kind of follow the road around the bend, which is kind of what the whole picture was kind of based on. That I wanted the road in it because it did add an aspect of like, hey, I'm taking you somewhere, but where to?
Yeah, yeah. I always love those road photos.
Yeah, definitely.
So I
But
love the
but
road.
yeah, so thanks to Jason for suggesting that. That's some of our photography and different styles, I guess you could say, more of a sports slash lifestyle portrait slash landscape aspect. So
Yeah, man. It could have been a little bit more organized, but we'll get there. We'll
hey, you
get
know
there.
what? A rough start, but we got it there. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
We'll try to text message way next time because I could not find your photos for a second. I was like going through like what 9 different images trying to find it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I
And I
could
couldn't look at them at the same time.
it would have been also nice if ours were they're alphabetized in Google Drive. If we could actually put them all right next to each other, like to really make a comparison. But
In the text message, the group chat, they would all next to each
okay,
other.
all right, whatever. So
Come
anyhow,
on.
but now this is a time that some of you guys have been waiting for. We're actually going to do a giveaway. So Miguel, you want to hit us up about what is going on with this
Yes,
giveaway?
sir. So we're giving away these Bluetooth headphones. And just show you guys right here. Funny story that the reason why I'm giving these away is because someone actually hacked into my Amazon account and bought these for me using my credit card and got it shipped to my house. So if you want to win these, go ahead and comment below and comment on the Instagram post. You will get an entry for it. But yeah, so the winner will be announced January 2nd. So all you gotta do is just comment below, comment on the Instagram post that you'll also be seeing. And then if you want to also get bonus entries, you can also share it on your story.
And did you just mention this? The winner will be announced what date?
January 2nd.
January 2nd. So that's actually a really interesting story. People don't try that at home either because it's illegal. We didn't do it, but it was just.
But I got headphones out of it, so I'm giving these away, man.
Yeah.
You know.
It was you, Dave, wasn't it?
Amazon's lost. No, I wouldn't buy those type of headphones. But anyhow.
Yeah, I've never seen these before, but they're called MyPhone.
I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, of Bluetooth headphones.
These wireless headphones are pretty cool though.
But but it's a nice prize if you don't have headphones. That's pretty dope.
Better than $20 at Target. Unless people want $20 at Target.
Hey, people, if you want $20 at Target, let me know because that could be a future giveaway. So
did you just go back to someone stealing your identity, Miguel? Did you figure that out?
Yeah. The what?
Bigger concern is
yeah, right. Someone stole your identity.
Credit card is on the loose out there and someone has it.
Don't worry. That's all taken care of.
Jeez. All right. So Brent, you ready for 10 questions?
No, but sure.
I think
1 hour later.
11, but some of these are going to be rapid fire. You maybe have one answer. Some of these might have a story or a more deeper thought about it. So just come with what you got.
Patience with me.
No,
I actually just thought of a question too. So if you want to have
okay. How about after question 5, you throw in your question, Miguel? This actually might be more than 10 questions, though, Brent. So,
oh man.
All right, are you ready? First one is hard. Okay.
You didn't let me answer.
What's that? I didn't even ask.
Ready.
Yet. Oh, well, that wasn't question 1 technically.
All right, I'm ready.
And that wasn't that hard. If that one's baffling you, then this might be a long.
Yeah, I'm lost.
So, all right, Nikon or Canon?
Is that even a question?
Yeah, I really should.
Have you seen your photos and have you seen mine and Miguel's photos?
So Canon? You're saying Canon?
Okay.
I got you.
It's sure, yeah, Canon all day.
Oh my god.
No, we know it's Nikon. Okay, here's a deeper question: who inspires you now in your photography?
How do you go from like, do you shoot Nikon to Canon to who inspires you as a photographer?
Come on, quick.
Quick. All right. Quick, Peter McKinnon, just because he's just so good in front of the camera. He makes everything
1
look good,
hour later.
makes it, I don't know, just makes you want to shoot, you know?
Yeah, I will say this about him. It's not even his pictures, although his pictures are really good. I'm not saying they're bad in any way, but like if you watch one of his videos, you're like, let me grab my camera. Let me go outside right now. And
absolutely. Yeah. He just inspires adventure in you. And that's more what I look for now in photography.
Like it. All right. This is a controversial topic since episode 2 of our podcast. Do you like your own Instagram posts? As far as do you physically hit that like button on your own Instagram posts?
Bro, when was the last time I posted?
Apparently this is going to be
actually a better question number.
That's a better question. So for you out there who don't know, I did wedding photography for a while, and now I'm kind of taking a step back and just doing my own thing. I haven't posted in a while, so I'm sorry. I like my aesthetic. I think my aesthetic could take a little improvement for sure.
That's not Dave's question. Though.
Everyone
it.
always was. I gotta
Wait, what was the question? I'm
figure
lost.
out a better way to word this question.
Yeah, okay, that's your fault.
If you posted something on Instagram, would you physically go to the like button and like it?
My own photo?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I take pride in my work.
There you go. Okay. Because I always say I was like, I'm not gonna like my own photos. I feel like that's kind of cheap. And Miguel's
He'll
like,
go to his other like 3 accounts and go like.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me also backtrack. I don't do that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Are you narcissistic or do you actually
Oh.
just let the people like your photos?
Yep, I like the people like my photos.
I gotta find a better way to word that question because the last person you got so philosophical on it and was trying to answer.
On
I was
Instagram,
like,
do
it's
you
very
like your
simple.
own photos?
Yeah, literally. Number 4, if you could make an epic. Oh no, actually no. We can cut that out in the edit.
What?
So Miguel, go
I
ahead and
wanna
ask
know.
your question now. Because that was specific. That was specific.
Now the viewers want to know.
No, we can edit that out. It was specific
Okay.
to somebody else, to our last guest. Anyhow, Miguel, go ahead with your other question.
Brent, do you trust the process?
Always. The process for me, I didn't trust the process till later on. I think I saw dollar signs. Now I see more the process than anything. So
That's right.
Most interesting place you've been to because of your photography, whether being paid or just because you wanted to get a picture there or whatever.
Oh man, that's tough. I feel like actually no, Iceland for sure, because Iceland's a huge spot right now. But I don't think I would have looked it up on Pinterest unless I was into photography. Right? I've been there twice, and I think it's one of the most photogenic places.
Definitely. Crazy. Although I have to say, if you really go back to your catalog of work, and I don't know how much you posted on it, your Oregon trip though was amazing. Like I was supposed to go on that trip, and when I saw your pictures, I was like, this looked like an epic.
Yeah, I will say, like my editing style, I love moody shots. Oregon, if I could, I would move there tomorrow. I love that spot. It's gorgeous.
Cool. What is the last thing you tried for the first time?
Man, it's COVID times, man. When was the last time I went out of the house?
I thought he was actually saying COVID. I was like, what?
COVID. I tried COVID one time, didn't like it.
That was the last time for anything.
Oh, man.
It's been hard. Well, I mean, the other thing though is during COVID, you've actually some people have actually tried things they haven't tried before because they have so much time on their hands. So, well, maybe.
Okay, no. Okay, so me and Nikki did this thing. She's into art. She likes to paint. She likes to draw. We did a little plaster project. You know, we colored some plaster. We framed it. It looks nice. It's on our wall. Cool. I wish I could. I'll show it to you guys later. Looks nice.
Cool. Well, there you go. So that's just something different, right?
Art.
Yeah. All right. Biggest pet peeves.
Dave, continue.
Fair enough. How would you just, all right. I love this question. You've asked this to me. How would you describe the color yellow to a blind man?
Oh, man. So you wake up in the morning and you go outside and you feel warmth on your face. That, my friend, that's yellow.
I think you stole that from me. Okay.
What?
Favorite lens?
35 mil, 1.4 Sigma.
Would you ever consider doing video?
Yes, absolutely. I've been thinking about this more lately, and not because you guys have been doing it, but because I'm steering away from business photography and more into documenting what I enjoy doing. So I've been trying to capture that photography wise, but I think video is the way to go.
It's kind of like a vlog, basically, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's fun. I have a hard time, and this podcast is actually helping it, putting myself in front of a camera. But it is fun, and I know how to talk, and I think you do too. So I think you'd have a lot of fun doing it, to be honest. So
yeah, I'd have a blast.
Last question. What brand or client have you wanted to work with? Or would you like to work with?
Oh, man.
What would be your dream client or brand that you would want to work with? Just a dream client.
So I don't think my landscape photography, my product photography isn't great. I think I do better with people. I think a clothing brand would be ideal.
Is there any brand specific?
Oh man, if you gotta give me a second on Instagram, there's this. Just 1 second.
1 hour later.
Oh, right here. Yep, iron and resin. So actually, story. I went to Acadia and I had bought a blanket, like one of those big beach tribal blankets from Iron and Resin, and they posted it on their page. I was pretty pumped. But if you check them out, they do like a lot of cool like motorcycle stuff, desert photography. They sell a lot of cool stuff. I
Cool.
love them. Check them out.
Cool. Well, who knows? Maybe you'll
Definitely
get
will.
maybe you'll get branded from them. I am going to check it out. Usually stuff that you like, I'm pretty down with. So I'll
Yeah.
check it out. Well, anyhow, appreciate you coming to guest on with us, Brent. So now we have
Glad to
another
be-
episode planned too. We're gonna have to do part 2 of the
Part 2.
steel wool shot, and we'll go out there and make make an issue of it. But appreciate your thoughts and for joining us today. For the rest of you, again, look to our description for more about the giveaway and the details for it. As always, if you would like to comment, like, subscribe the channel, gives us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. And check us out for the next episode number 8, where we will actually have 2 guests for 1 coming up. So look forward to that.
That's
Anyhow,
right.
until next time, see you then.